Welcome to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, America's #1 podcast for new real estate investors, where we know that finding discounted property is the most proven path to financial freedom. My name is Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, Mr. Talk to People, and I am telling you this right now. If I can do this business, so can you. So let's get started. I've got an incredible story, an incredible experience. I mean, this is going to be a podcast where you're not just going to learn how to just make cash offers. This is going to be totally different. This is going to be something that's going to blow your mind and is going to add so many tools to your toolbox, because I've got Andrew Schlag from he lives in Louisville, but he does business in Indiana. And Andrew, how are you, buddy?
Man, I am awesome, brother. How are you?
I'm ready to go, because
So
you
good to be
started
with you.
this out before we started this podcast. You said 75% of the deals that I do are creative, and my team is not allowed to make cash offers first. So we got to get into all of that. So when did you get started, brother?
Yeah, so it was 2014. I heard a radio ad and heard I could buy houses. Before that, I'd been Googling because being in construction and from a little bitty town of 400, that's what I knew. So I was like working on other houses. I had seen, we worked on some rental properties and a couple of flips for a guy. And I said, surely there's a way I could do this. And so I didn't know how I was going to save up enough money to eventually buy a rental one day. And then I got addicted when I heard I could do wholesaling and then creative. And I put it to action in April of 2014.
Awesome. So you went to a seminar and just you were ready.
I was ready. I put out some bandit signs before I went, and I mailed some letters before I went. And so literally at that seminar, I talked to the seller that agreed verbally to do a deal. And I drove home from Atlanta to Belle Rive, Illinois, and then drove straight on over to Indiana and locked up the deal.
Why real estate? I mean, you live in a tiny town. You grow up in a tiny town. You're swinging a hammer, I assume. I mean,
Yeah.
You were just, I don't want to do this for other people. I want to find opportunities. Were you like, I want to own real estate? Like, what was it?
Yeah, so I was actually quite hard-headed, and I probably had the negative things, the adversity not happen, I might have not made the change. But I ended up going to the hospital. I had some health challenges and knocked me out, at a young age. I was, 20, right after my 20th birthday. And so I'm in the hospital. I'm having these challenges. I get out. I'm still having some challenges. And it was causing me not able to keep up fully with the construction. And that's what caused me to start looking for other things. So, I was Googling driving truck. I was Googling. I had raised some feeder calves as a teenager, so I was looking to get back into raising calves. I was looking into every opportunity I could find, and that's when I started Googling the rental property, and then was listening to talk radio when I heard the ad. So it really found me, because I didn't know that was what the heck to look for back then. I didn't even know real estate was a cool thing.
And so your first deal, was it a creative deal? Was it a cash deal? How'd you start out?
First deal, I contracted at $12,000 and wholesaled it for $15,000. And the flipper I sold it for $138,000.
I'm going to ring this already. Here we go.
Let's go.
That is awesome. And so you go to, what did they teach you at this seminar?
So it was...
You were able to just fly right out of the gate so fast.
Yeah, so they was talking about wholesaling, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. They said, follow this script and say this. So I got on the phone and did, and somehow it worked. And so that $3,000, of course, rocked my world. I'm like, I've never made this much money in one sitting before. So it blew my mind as a 21-year-old country boy. And then it was like maybe 8 weeks later, 8 or 10 weeks later, I locked up my first sub-2 deal from a tired landlord. So awesome. Then I was addicted to that.
So what does your portfolio look like now?
So we sit on a lot of properties at any given time. I also wrap up and sell portfolios from time to time. And so we've sold a couple of portfolios over the years. But yeah, we sit on mostly single family. I do some multis. I've been at a 66 unit mobile home park for a few years. I do land deals. I do a little bit of everything, but we always hold many dozens, if not more, of single-family homes.
So why not just wholesale them all? I mean, why go the creative route? And why go the creative route first? Because usually, the theme in our business in real estate investing is usually cash, 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 then creative.
Yeah.
You're going creative, 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 then cash. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so what I did after I wholesaled that deal, I got the $3,000. I realized when I bought the terms deal, the deal I bought sub 2, it was like I bought it. It's a $100,000 house. I took over the debt of 60, and immediately I had cash flow. My payment was $500. The rent was paying $750. And then when she moved out, the tenant I inherited, I lease optioned it. So I went and got $5,000 down, and then I had cash flow again. And I was like, wait a second, this is cool because I'm doing the work once and I'm getting paid over and over. And so from immediately, I just began focusing on terms. Every offer I ever made was always terms. And then only after I was turned down on terms, I would then switch to, well, we could do cash, but it would be a lot less.
I have a bunch of questions. So first, for anybody that doesn't really understand, what is a lease option, and what kind of documentation do you need to accomplish that?
Yeah, so the lease option's a simple two-part document. One, it's a lease, so somebody's renting the property from you for X dollars a month, and two, it's an option. They give you a, what I call NROD, non-refundable option deposit. It's storming like crazy here, so if you hear background noise, it's thundering and lightning. So they give us a NROD, a non-refundable option deposit, the day they move, well, before they move in. And when they buy the property down the line, every penny of that goes toward the purchase price. If they choose not to purchase the property in the agreed option period, then, of course, they don't get the non-refundable option deposit back. It's in the name. But we always credit that and, of course, set them up to be able to step into home ownership.
So it's like a rent to own. They have an exclusive option to purchase the property. You can't sell it to anybody else while they have the lease option?
Exactly right.
Awesome. And for that, they give you a nice deposit. Now, are you taking a property, let's say you pick up a property now, it's vacant. Are you totally renovating that property and then renting it and then doing the lease option? Or are you putting them in the property and they're responsible for fixing it up?
They're responsible for everything. Of course, with rare exception of, selling to a rehabber or something, of course, but we make them livable. So, we make sure the power works, the water works, sure, the roof's good. We make sure it's a good property. But as far as, fresh paint, fresh car, if they want to make it updated, then we leave that responsibility to them. So we almost never rehab a property.
And why do that instead of just finding a great deal and assigning it?
So for me, it's all about the model I want to accomplish. If I had a gun to my head and said you have to make $100,000 from doing real estate deals in the next 2 weeks, I would absolutely go find some deal and assign them, right? Because it's not real likely that I'm going to go get two $50,000 non-refundable option upfront deposits, especially in Indiana where I'm buying houses that average $150,000. So for my California people, add a zero. But
yep.
When it comes to the assignments, it's a great way to stack cash. But I remember in 2015, I bought exactly 50 houses. I was 22. I bought 50 houses in 52 weeks. And it ticked me off because I was too shy of one a week. And so I'm sitting there looking, and then in 2020, whatever the next year was, 2016, I do my taxes, and I'm looking, going, holy crap, I got depreciation. I didn't even know what depreciation was. I got all this write-off for stuff I didn't even know, and I'm collecting rent every single month. I'm getting depreciation, plus I get nearly as much commonly in the NRODs, the upfront non-refundable option deposits, as I was getting from my average assignment fee or wholesale fee over here. So even if I was getting a little less on the front end, I'm getting a middle end payday and a back end payday. So 3 paydays for the price of 1.
So typically when we're marketing to property owners that want speed and convenience, right? They want to sell their property, be done with it, cash out. Are you marketing to specific? It sounds like you're marketing to different types of property owners that will allow more of a seller financing or taking over a loan, or even doing a lease option with them, or something creative to where they're still in the deal. You're still kind of married to the old owners a little bit. Maybe not, maybe you're not talking to them on a monthly basis, but they're connected somehow to that property. How are you marketing? Are you specifically looking for these property owners that don't need the cash and they don't want to just wipe their hands clean of these properties?
So I love that question, because we actually are just marketing the exact same people that any wholesaler would market to. It's the people who want to be done. It's the people who are tired landlords, behind on mortgage. That demographic, that marketing still works. Now, here's where we get to pick up extra deals. Facebook Marketplace or Zillow are places where there's people who want to sell, who would rather make more money over time.
Sure.
So, of course, if you follow a seller through the math and they have a $400,000 house and they list it on the market and they're selling it with a realtor and they got to pay 6% commission and probably take a little discount on the price and probably do some repairs to the house. By the time it's all said and done, they may walk away, if they're lucky, with $360,000. So if I can buy their $400,000 house for nothing down and $1,500 a month for $380,000, they're going to net more. Or maybe they get 10 grand or 20 grand of moving money, and now I'm in with 5 to 7% down.
Yep.
So for me, it's about finding the people who need to sell and solving their problem, which goes back, of course, if you ask the question, would you rather have cash or payments? Of course, everybody wants cash, right? But when we ask the right question and actually solve the problem, then we lead to terms 75% of the time.
Love it. Can I get you closer to the microphone with this crazy storm that's going on?
Yes, you can. How's that?
Oh, that is way better.
Awesome.
That is way better. That's awesome. As close to that microphone as you can. That would be awesome.
Perfect.
Okay, so you get a call. It's a property owner. Hey, I want to sell my house. I'm ready to go. And what will you offer me? Right? What do you go into? What does your team go into? Give us some wrench to put into our toolbox of doing real estate deals here.
Absolutely. So you want to just do a quick role play?
Yes.
Cool. And let me preface it by saying, we're very big in, especially now, and I'm sure we'll talk more about this in a moment, but over the last 3-4 years, I've grown a lot on the personal development side. I've always been very much about solving problems, but I'm very much about creating win-wins. And so it's not a fit for everybody. In fact, it's not a fit for about 90% of the people we talk to.
Yeah.
But the 10% is where we make our money and where we help them win. So you call me up from whatever.
Let's say I just filled something out online. You get a lead.
Absolutely.
And you're calling me. Hello?
Hey, Brent, it's Andrew calling you back from Diamond Valley Homes. Did I catch you in a minute? Catch it a good time? You got a minute?
Hold on, Andrew. Sorry, you're totally okay. Let's try that again, and we'll edit this. But it's just yeah. There we go. Go ahead.
Awesome. So my name's Andrew from Diamond Valley Homes. I was calling.
No, give me the ring. Give me the ring again, and we'll put this thing together.
Perfect. All right. Ring.
Yeah, this is Brent. Who's this?
Brent, it's Andrew. I was calling you back about the house you have on 123 Main Street. You have a quick minute?
Yeah. How do you have my number?
I got a form, said you filled it out, looking to sell your house. Is that house for sale, Brent?
Yeah, we're thinking about it. We just
Awesome.
wanted to see, what somebody would offer on it, and we potentially would sell it.
Very cool. So let me ask you this, Brent. First off, do you know about what you're asking for the property or what you would hope to get out of it?
Not really. You know what I mean? I mean, I've looked around on Zillow, but it needs some work, so I'm not really sure what we can get for it.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about the property. What kinds of work does it need?
Yeah, it's just dated. It's a 1986 house. We did some remodeling in the 90s, but it's not. It's nice. It's in good shape, but it's not. It's not like a model home by any means.
Awesome. So it probably need fresh paint, fresh carpet, stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of cosmetic stuff, and it probably needs a new air conditioner.
Cool. New air conditioner. So, what did Zillow say the homes in the area are going for, Brent?
They said it was 176,000.
176. All right, cool. 176. It's an AC and updating. So if I was to make you an offer and we just agree on it, knowing that I'm not a realtor, so there's no 6% commission, what we agree to is actually what you get, and knowing that I commonly even pay all closing costs, what would you be looking to get out of the property?
Well, I don't know. I think that if I could get, 120, 130, I think that still makes it a good deal for somebody.
Okay, around 120,000. And do you still have a debt on the property, Brent?
No, I own it free and clear.
Very cool. So we buy houses a couple of ways, and the way we commonly do it is I'll go ahead and buy the house from you now. I'll pay all the closing costs. I'm not a realtor, so no 6% commissions or fees and none of that crap. We buy it as is, so you don't have to fix the AC or anything else. And we close whenever you and I agree. And then I will make you a monthly payment every single month until I pay you off the full $120,000 in cash in the future. Does that sound like something that would work for you?
Like, you're talking about you're gonna like pay rent to me? I don't understand.
Yeah, so basically you're the bank. It's a real common way of doing it. It's called owner financing. So
Okay.
I buy the house from you. I take ownership. I'm responsible for maintenance, repairs, taxes, insurance. You're free and can move on. You can forget it ever even existed. You get a check in the mail from me every single month until I pay you off in full. My whole specialty is I work with lease option buyers. I find someone who needs some time to qualify for a loan. After I buy the house from you, Brent, I'm going to go find a family who needs time to qualify. I'm going to put them in and rent it to them until they can get a loan and cash it out at whatever agreed point in the future. So if we was to do that, what would be the least you could accept every single month, knowing I'm responsible for the taxes and maintenance and repairs?
I'm really just trying to sell the property and just like get, cash for it or just cash out or whatever. You know what I mean? That's really what I'm interested in.
Okay.
I haven't really thought about taking payments on it over time. I don't know if that's something that would work for us.
Cool. So that's the purpose of this call, is to find out if we're a fit for one another. And if so, awesome. If not, we'll part as friends. All good. So if we was to pay you the 120 over time, let me ask you this, backing up, is the cash, you looking for something specific? Do you need it for something, or you just want to make sure you're done with the house, or what's that look like?
I'm just done with the house. I just don't want to mess with it anymore. And, I don't know what we do with the money, probably pay off some other things and be done with, car payments and maybe pay off the mortgage of the house we live in. This is a rental property, by the way. Mm-hmm. And, I just don't want to be a landlord anymore. I just want to be done with it.
Cool. What's your tenants pay there?
They were paying $850.
Okay. Are they paying you now?
No, it's vacant.
Okay. So let me ask you this. You'll net more by selling to me over time than selling any other way. We could pay cash, but it's going to be way lower value. So
like how much lower?
I'd have to run some numbers. If I was to pay you cash and close whenever you want, what's the absolute least you could take?
Yeah, I like the 120,
So I need to run this by my partners, but what if I could do 130 over time? Or I could do 90,000 and close in 7 days. Would you prefer 130 over time or 90,000 now?
How much time are you talking? Like when do you think it would be totally paid off?
So we're working on the same team. Like I told you, my whole objective is go find somebody, put them in, and then help them get qualified and get me a check and get you the big check. So we're working on the same team. I don't know that answer, and I'm not going to make a promise I can't keep. Yeah. So again, if this is going to keep you awake at night, you probably shouldn't do the deal. But if you're about making an extra $40,000 by giving me some time, then I'll go to work for both of us.
So then you rent it to somebody that's going to just buy it and pay both of us off?
Yeah, so I'm buying the house from you. You're in the position of the bank. Your name is additionally insured, so God forbid the house burns down, you get a check first. And I'm responsible for the taxes. The tax bill comes to me. I'm responsible for maintenance, everything that happens. So you're free and can move on and forget it ever existed. My company sends you a check every month. And yes, my objective after I buy the house from you is I'm going to turn around, put somebody in it. They're going to rent it until I can get them qualified for a mortgage with one of the local mortgage lenders that we work with, at which point they're going to get a loan. And I'm going to mark it up from the 130 that I pay you for it, of course, so I can make a profit because that's the reason for doing this, right? And then, of course, I'm going to get the difference between 130 I pay you and the amount, whatever I have my tenant buyer to pay me.
What happens if you stop making payments?
That's an awesome theoretical question. So there's two answers to that. Number one, I would lose every dollar I've put into the property, which would suck. So that's not in the plan. Number two, we do always close with a real estate attorney. So if God forbid I died in a plane crash, something bad happened, you would technically get the property back. But again, I'm not planning on dying in a plane crash.
Okay. Well, why don't we meet at the property and we can kind of, go over some details.
Absolutely. So that'll be our next steps. Before I schedule that, I want to get that on the books here. What do you think if we do? Your tenant was paying $850 and you was responsible for taxes and insurance and maintenance. What is taxes on the property?
It's about $3,200 a year.
Okay, so $300 a month. And then how much do you think you're spending on maintenance now? AC, what? That's freaking $8,000 now, maybe 12.
Yep.
Well, takes a couple years to get that money back.
Sure.
So knowing $850 minus $300 minus maintenance, so you're probably netting $2 to $3 a month.
Yeah, I wasn't making much. That's why it's like, I'm just tired of this. I thought it would be really great, and I was going to make a bunch of money, and it was going to be pay for a lot of my bills every month. But it all goes back into the property. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Yeah.
So knowing that it's net that I'm paying you every month, what is the least you could accept from me every single month till I pay you off the 130?
Listen, if you give me $400 a month, and we, that would be pretty good.
So twice of what you was making before.
Sure.
I'll know this for sure when I get there, so hold me to this. But I'm assuming you'd be okay meet me in the middle at 300.
I mean, it'd be, yeah, maybe.
Okay. If I know you're flexible on that, then our next steps will be come out. I'll have a purchase agreement with me. If you like me and I like the property, we'll go ahead and agree that get the agreement okayed by you. Last question: are you the only owner of the property, or you have a spouse or somebody else?
It's me and it's my wife and I. Yeah.
Okay. Will she be with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she comes
awesome.
out.
And she'll be on board with what we just talked about?
I don't know. I'll have to talk to her. It's not something that we were really thinking about. Typically when you buy and sell real estate, you're done with it, and it's you're not making payments. So there's a new idea, but she might be open to it. I don't know.
Cool. So in a real life scenario now, this is when I would either A, get her on the phone, or B, schedule to get her on the phone, because I say, I don't want to waste your time, Brent, or mine, frankly. So I want to make sure she's on board. If we're ready to move forward and you guys are flexible, then we're going to come out. So if I have a feeling that I'm 80 to 90% that we're going to purchase it when I get there, then I'm going. or my team
I
now.
love it. I love it. What was it? What did you open with? I was so focused. I was so in my head about role playing that you had said something about I'm going to get you payments over time, or I'm going to pay you over time, or what did you open it up with?
So the way it normally works is I buy the house from you and I send you a check in the mail every single month to
That's
pay
it.
you off in full.
That's it. Common language, guys. Common language. Do not overspeak to people that are not in our business. Don't just be like making these big words and these, and being really professional and trying to impress them with all this, real estate vocabulary. I'm going to send you a check every month. I love it, Andrew. I love it. Guys, replay this, go back, and let me ask you this, Andrew, because in my head, this is just what I'm thinking. Yeah, that works in areas where there's not multiple cash offers on every property.
Yeah, I love that. I love that objection. I love that resistance. So first off, you can do this in any market if you get great at asking the right questions.
Okay.
I commonly have people commenting on my videos if I make a video and saying, there's none of these in my area, and I always reply, there's none in mine either, because you're not going to go on Zillow and see somebody says, I would love to sell my house. You literally are asking questions and finding out if it's a win-win. Before this call, in our scenario, and it's not even likely, Brent, that the seller Brent knew that this was an option. They would have just had to take $90K from a wholesaler. And so now he realizes, so we're educating, but we're doing it by asking questions in simple terms. Yep. And so I'm always transparent. I'm always finding win-win solutions. And we're always going back to the simplest form of questions. I've done this on very expensive houses. I've done this on $2 million houses. I've done this on $20,000 houses and everything in between. It works in every regard. Now, if you're in Scottsdale, you may have to talk to 50 people. And if you're in Indiana, you may have to talk to 15 people. So the numbers ain't always going to be the same. But if you're in Scottsdale, you may get a $100K profit. And those are less common in Indiana, although we've seen a few.
Sure. Love it. I love it. So you're going with that approach right away. And if they want cash, then you just come with the cash offer.
Absolutely. And that's where we
go. And your strategy is I'm going to get a bunch of rentals, and then put lease-to-own tenants in there, build a package of those, and sell them to somebody that wants just a big package for depreciation, for they just don't want to mess around onesie-twosie. They want to be able to buy, something that they can just add to their portfolio right away, or maybe they have 1,000 properties already and the 40 that you sell to them is just, a drop in the bucket type of thing.
Yeah. So we have quite a few who just, go through the cycle and cash out on the lease option buyer. And that's, of course, the most profitable. And then at times we do have packages. I think I've done it 3 times over the year where I've built up a package and rolled them up and then assigned the lease options. The new buyer agreed to honor those lease options, in which case we sold portfolios of many dozens.
And you've done this like 350 times.
About that, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It's fun.
Isn't this the best business ever?
It is. And I think the cool thing, Brent, it's a country boy, a preacher's kid, in a country freaking raising feeder cows. And at 21, I found out I could do this. And the best thing that ever happened to me was I just was too dumb at the time to know it didn't work. So I didn't know to say, people won't do this. I just heard it and started dialing. Did I get told no 200 times, 300 times before I got a yes? Yes.
Yeah.
Did I probably blow 6 or 8 deals by saying the wrong stupid thing? Probably yes. But I eventually made it. And I think that's the lesson there, is literally take it, try it, go back. Take it, try it, go back.
That's it. And I'll tell you what, and this is something that I see across the board in any market. There is power to being a little naive. You know what I mean? Like there's power in not knowing what you don't know. You're just like, oh, okay, go do this. And then people do it, and then they win. You know what I mean? And you see that oftentimes when you hire new acquisition managers. And they're coming in from some other industry, but they've had some sales experience. They have some human communication experience. And they just get right in. They're like, yeah, I just went in and they signed it. And you're like, what? Like they wanted $425,000. You just locked it up for $275. What happened? You told me that's what we could offer. So I just... Is that okay? You know what I mean? This happens every single time I hire a new acquisition manager, and then they get a little bit of experience and maybe get in their head a little bit in a sophomore slump, and then we get them out of that. But it's awesome if you just go with certainty and likability that this is how you can structure a deal. And you just find out if that's the biggest win for the seller, you put it together.
Absolutely. I think that the really cool part there for me is it's literally just asking questions. I tell people I never make offers. I literally just ask people questions, and then they come back with what works for them. And for me, it is really about solving problems and not overthinking it. Make ridiculous offers and make sure you can make good money with bad numbers. If those two things are happening, then you're going to win.
So I've got, I was taught 5, 10, 50, all right? You want to be 5% or less for a down payment, okay? You want to have a balloon payment 10 years out or longer. Okay, and you want to be the payment to the property owner at 50% of what you can rent it out for or lower, right? What do you think about those numbers, and where do you fit in with those, and what's real life? I mean, that's like, really good, and that's great on paper, and it all makes sense, but in reality, what are you seeing there?
Yeah, so that's actually fairly common for us. The 5, 10, 50 is a good baseline, especially somebody who's new and that doesn't yet know all the nuances. The nuances, I guess, though, are, for me, I look at the 3 paydays. So if I buy it with nothing down and $100K equity, but there's no cash flow, then I'm still going to do the deal. Might have not been able to do that at the beginning, but I'm okay with that now. If I'm putting nothing down, but there's strong cash flow and no equity, I'm probably still going to do the deal. So I look at the 3 paydays, and as long as 1 is crazy awesome or 2 are good, then I'm going to go ahead and do the deal.
The 3 being down payment, length of the term, and monthly payment.
Down payment, monthly payment, and equity on the back end, which comes into length of term. Yes.
Let me do that again, because you just disappeared there for a second. So, the 3 being down payment, length of the term, and monthly payment.
The monthly payment, down payment, and then does come into the length of term, which is the equity we have in the property, which is length of term plus price. Yes.
Say that again.
Length of term plus price. So if I have 10 years, but I got 20K in equity, but it's no interest, for example, which is very common for us if there's no debt, then I am getting 70K equity. So that ties into the length of term.
I love it. Yeah. Andrew, absolutely incredible. I love this, guys. Make sure that you're going back and you're listening to. Do you have scripts? Do you have training? Do you have help? I know that you've got you've got your YouTube channel. You've got to tell people how they can get more of this.
Absolutely. You can, first off, go follow my YouTube. I do have a 10 video series where I give away all the scripts, all my purchase agreements, all the disclosures, all the closing documents. I give away literally thousands and thousands of dollars of gifts on there for you. So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, but Facebook and Instagram and YouTube are the 3 that I hit the most often. Awesome.
Thank you so much for being on here. This is incredible. I mean, it's just adding to I got to look at the deals that we have sitting in my database and think of ways that we can squeeze something out of it, or put something specific, somebody in on my team specifically to go in there and see if we can make some more creative offers and see how it works in Phoenix, in this price point, in this area that there's significant amount of marketing dollars being spent. And so when we go on appointments, it's very common that there are 2 or 3 other offers on the table. But I can see definitely it's all about finding out if there is an opening, just a little crack, a little opportunity to turn that seller into a bank and see if that's the best option for them. That's
Absolutely. Awesome. A very cool thing. And I just want to say, Brent, I've been, of course, watching you for years, and you constantly inspire me. And I'm grateful to be on here with you. It's an honor and it's exciting. And my prayer would be that just the little nuggets I've shared would hopefully drop some extra value to you and your team and to your listeners who are doing wholesale deals. It's so often what we have in our communities is I have, especially in Louisville, I've had a lot of the real estate community come to me there, and they're killing it in the wholesaling game, but we just add that one little tweak and add massive revenue, deals that would have otherwise had to been left on the table or missed. And so I hope that does that for somebody listening today.
Oh yeah, I'd love for you to come and speak to the tribe members and just show them the process to be able to do this. They would love that. Would you be open to that?
100%, brother. I would absolutely do that for you.
Awesome, guys. Make sure that you guys check out Andrew's YouTube channel and then go down the rabbit hole of all the other social media resources that he has. We'll make sure that we put a link in the show notes if you're just listening to this and on our YouTube channel. So definitely check out Andrew. And thank you, Andrew, for being on here.
Thank you again, brother, for having me.
And if you are interested in joining the most proactive group in real estate investing, I want you to go to wholesalinginc.com. We look at 4 things, right? 4 things are so critically important when you're putting together the blueprint for going after and finding the best properties, the best opportunities in your marketplace. And that is, what's your experience level? What's your market? Is it big or small? How much budget do you have? And what does your schedule look like? All right, those 4 things really help you determine what is the best marketing strategy for you to find those deals. Go to wholesalinginc.com, click the Apply Now button. We'll get on the phone with you and we'll put together that blueprint for you. It'll be absolutely amazing. And that is it. I will sign off as I always do, encouraging you to go out there today and talk to people. Till next time, guys. Love you. See ya.